We had some huge earnings reports after bell, as you know. Amazon, Meta, and Apple. I'm going to go through each rapid fire. Amazon up first here, up 6% after hours, trading at $169 a share. First glance, the earnings were pretty good. Better than expected results, beat on top and bottom lines, and jumps 14% on the revenue. So earnings per share were $1, beat by 20 cents. 80 cents was the expectation. Revenue, 170 billion versus 166.2 billion expected. Amazon Web Services were basically right in line, thankfully, 24.2 billion. Even if that would have been 24.1 billion, you could have seen a different result after hours. So we've seen Microsoft, Google, and Amazon all report strong in the cloud services divisions. And I think that's bullish for a lot of those cloud and SaaS names, even though they have ripped over the last 6 months or so. Advertising for Amazon, 14.7 billion versus 14.2 billion. That's a strong beat. And that growth is up 26% year over year. So that revenue number of 170 billion, that's up about 14% year over year. Amazon Q4, record-breaking holiday shopping season, closed out a robust 2023 for Amazon. I joke around with my family. I call it Santa's on Prime because everybody's ordering their holiday gifts on Amazon. I'm not going to go through all this, but there's a ton of information on investor relations, tons of different updates. One big thing to note, advertising, we talk about AWS, how that's the cash cow. Advertising is really becoming a behemoth for Amazon. 26% growth is solid. In fact, advertising is growing stronger and faster than AWS, Amazon Web Services. And as you know, Amazon has surpassed, when you look at just YouTube revenue, Amazon's revenue and advertising is actually quite a bit larger at this point. And you have Prime Video. Prime Video is going to start charging to not have ads, as you guys have heard. But just a ton of updates here that you can read through, ton of information. One thing I'm going to pay attention to on the earnings call when I listen to it later is going to be about the AI space and just the direction with AI. And Amazon's free cash flow improved to an outflow of 36.8 billion. That's 12 months trailing compared to 11.6. So Q1 expectations for guidance. So we've got revenue 138 to 143.5 billion, consensus 142 billion. And that is interesting because sometimes when you see this number a little under consensus, you might even have a little bit of sell-off, but the market's trying to look forward. It's still in bull mode. We've had some volatility the last couple of days, but the market at this point is just wanting to push higher. Now this next one, this is huge information. This is really big and the stock is up massively after hours. So Meta Platforms up 14%. It's at $450 right now. And if you look at a chart, that's all the way up at the R3. And the reason for it, not only did Meta beat on the top and bottom lines, you can see the numbers here. It beat by 39 cents on EPS. Revenue, 40.11 billion. That beat by about $1 billion. And the growth is solid, 24.7% year over year. But the big news here is Meta is going to actually pay a dividend for the first time, 50 cents per share. That's about a 0.5% dividend yield. Now, if you saw this headline, you might not if you haven't been paying attention, you might not realize this. Apple revenue grows for the first time in a year. So Apple stock has really been performing quite well, but the earnings reports haven't really been that solid. Now, this earnings report, the key thing here is China. And China sales are about 13% down year over year. So Apple did beat on top and bottom lines. You can see EPS 218 versus 210. Revenue, 119.58 billion versus 117.91 billion. Now, I just added some new Apple products for the studio, so I did contribute to this revenue number of 119.58 billion for the quarter. You can see iPhone revenue here, Mac revenue, and there's estimates on there. So iPhone actually was under a little bit versus the estimate. Mac revenue was actually above, and I helped support that number. iPad revenue was a little bit under. Other products was above. Service revenue, a little bit light. Gross margins, a little bit better than estimate, 45.9% versus 45.3%. And you can see this is the only of the three stocks I'm going to cover today that's actually down after hours. It's down 1.68%. Some of those numbers were mixed, and there are concerns, especially with China. Not only that, Apple's trading at a 31 P ratio, market cap $2.89 trillion, and the dividend yield is there, but it's about 0.51%. Now, what's interesting is Meta is going to be paying almost the same dividend as Apple, about 0.5%. Just a quick market update to get you up to speed with what's going on. I know you guys are busy. If these kind of videos are helpful and you're new here, subscribe to the channel. If this was helpful, drop me a like, drop me a comment. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.